Brodes Media.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Before we head into the action, if you're new to the channel, make sure you smash that subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up button as well. Over on Twitter, @Brodes81, that is my personal account. Make sure you hit the follow button there. And check out the blogs at brodesmedia.com. We've been implementing a lot more blogs lately. It's a ton of fun. Definitely check those out. With that being said, enjoy the show. What is going on, everyone? Welcome on into Sports Talk with Brodes. Now, right from the jump, I'm going to tell you this. My objective this episode or this show, this podcast, is to basically keep my cool. Now, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen 15 minutes in, 10 minutes in, hell, 6 minutes in. I might lose it because this is a conversation that naturally gives us this adrenaline rush or this emotional tie that we lose ourselves internally because it's so frustrating to think about where we are today with Ben Simmons. But right from the start here, you know that I'm trying to take the deep breath approach and just analyze what we heard from Doc Rivers today when he was on First Take with Stephen A. Smith, when he was on the ESPN radio morning show as well. And it's clear that both sides are trying to leak their information, right? You see a lot of these Twitter fools being called on from the Clutch Sports side, trying to reach basically all this national media attention that Ben Simmons wants out of town and he wants no part of the 76ers organization again, while Doc Rivers is doing damage control. We want Ben Simmons back. Ben Simmons doesn't need to shoot the ball 70%. Hell, doesn't even need to be 70% from the line. But the free throw area is where everything has to spice up so then he's not afraid to get fouled. So he'll go to the rim. Doc Rivers truly believes that just the free throw shooting is enough, where I don't necessarily think that's the case, especially when you're saying, it doesn't even have to be 70. Okay, like what? What are we talking about? See, yesterday I said Ben Simmons made Doc Rivers look like a fool this year because there's no way in hell Doc Rivers truly believes that Ben doesn't need to shoot the basketball. When I'm listening to Doc speak, even though I understand how this works and why he's trying to limit the damage as much as possible, I sense he truly believes what he's saying too, though. Ben doesn't need to shoot. He stops Trae Young. He does so many other things on the basketball floor that helps teams win that I notice because I'm a coach, but you don't notice out there. Come on, Doc. You're better than this. Well, at least we thought you were. This is Basketball Knowledge 101. Put basketball through hoop. When you start mentioning, well, there's plenty of guys that have success in this league that doesn't shoot. Look at Ben Wallace. Look at the Mr. Rebounder, Dennis Rodman. Doc. We're talking about a point guard in 2021 when the game is nowhere even close to that version anymore. And by the way, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen plus Dennis Rodman. Ben Simmons has the capabilities, though, to dominate a game if he shoots a basketball at an MJ LeBron-like level due to the unique skill set everywhere else. But how can you just eliminate the fact and pretend like the one area that we're so focused on doesn't matter? That's what pisses me off the most at a Doc. Because this is too simple. It's almost as if they're being so stubborn. He is being so stubborn, and Ben Simmons himself, to try and prove that they're right. So instead of fixing the issue, instead of working on what needs to be done, we have to show our way through this. We need to pretty much tell the world this is all good. You don't need to shoot. Trust me. Yeah, you do, Doc. Yeah, you do. So it's just crazy. The whole Game 7 question, Doc Rivers lied on First Take basically saying that it was the first question that was asked after Game 7, and the narrative was spun by the media, and that's not what he meant. Maybe it wasn't what he meant, but Doc Rivers could have done such a better job at explaining that. He's denying. Deny. Doc, we have the tape. We hear the tone. We see the question written out in transcripts. You were asked if Ben Simmons could win, or if the Sixers could win, if an NBA team can win. I have the question right here, so I don't know why I'm flirting around it. Do you think Ben Simmons can still be a point guard for a championship team like the one you guys want to become? I don't know that question or the answer to that right now, you know? So I don't know the answer to that. Doc, that's what you said. You don't know the answer to that. We spun it the way that you said it. I don't know the answer to that. What you should say is absolutely. You're lying, but absolutely. Didn't happen this year. There's a lot of ups and downs throughout an NBA career. The team fell short. Do I believe in Ben Simmons? Absolutely. We'll get back to the drawing board, work on what we need to work on, and we'll take that next stride next season. It's almost as if they are afraid to say that failures are allowed to happen. Yeah, you know what? Ben, we failed, and it's okay to admit that. Instead of, you did nothing wrong, sir. You did nothing wrong, man. You were okay, dude. No, you weren't. And it's okay to say that. So Doc denies it when he flat out lied. But that tells me, see, this is where I go back and forth. How much of it does he truly believe inside of him, where this team can win without Ben Simmons shooting as long as he sticks to stopping Trae Young? And I'll use air quotes here because Trae Young still got his. Defense can only get you so far in the NBA, especially when you're a $30 million max player and a superstar talent, a number 1 overall pick. That's supposed to lead you to the promised land. Let's excuse one area of the game that's so important to success. Oh, by the way, you're the point guard. It's silly is what it is. So I have trouble thinking where Doc Rivers is from that aspect, while also where he's fumbling over his words and he's going back on things and some of it's not making any sense. Well, some of that could be because he's thinking on his feet, he's thinking on his toes because, well, he doesn't believe in everything. So I don't know where he is. It's tough to read. Sometimes I sense Doc Rivers is telling nothing but the truth to him. How he feels is what he's saying. And then there's other times where I'm going, Doc, what? Huh? When you start and you start going back on some things and this and that, you said it for a reason, Doc. It didn't just come up out of nowhere. In a raw, emotional moment after losing another home game to the Atlanta Hawks and not advancing to the Eastern Conference Finals, your true colors showed. We want him back, they say. It's all crap. It's all crap. Doc even throws a scenario of San Antonio. Hey, remember there was a trade and then there was a problem, so unhappy. Went to San Antonio, went back, won a championship. Great, Doc. Do you see the way that this is being handled? It ain't even close. Close. It's not close to what you laid out. I wonder how much of Clutch Sports is thinking to themselves, what are we doing here? Oh man, is Ben Simmons a wrong cat to go with here? Have we ever thought of that angle? Well, Clutch is going to do anything in its power to defend the client, even if it's not the greatest client to work with in the world, because Ben Simmons has power in terms of how much money he generates, his superstarness. There's a reason why we are reacting the way that we are. So he does have this superstar. I'm talking outside of basketball, personality, face-wise. People know Ben Simmons. He pops. So Clutch Sports just looks at it from that angle. But I wonder, do they scratch their heads at night wondering, what the hell do we get ourselves into with Ben? Holy shit, this dude is worse than anything we've ever worked with before. I'll go to any team but Philadelphia. What a bum. What a bum. There's a new name being thrown around town, or a new trade offer, I should say. Trade speculation. CJ McCollum, Rocco plus picks. Give me the dotted line. Seriously, give me the dotted line right now so I could sign that. I want to talk about basketball this season. And I'm sure the Sixers are willing to live this one out a bit. I wouldn't be shocked at all if Daryl Morey lets this bleed and starts fining him. I get so many comments and tweets about the whole injury thing. He could fake an injury. That's what I constantly get in my mentions. He's not going to fake an injury. Things have to get diagnosed by the team doctor. You think the team doctor's just going to randomly start to, oh yeah, you know what, Ben? Oh, nod, nod, wink, wink. I'm on your side, Ben. No, the 76ers team doctor's not just going to make up some sort of injury so Ben Simmons could get out free and all this. No, he's not going to fake an injury. He's not even showing up to begin with. There's no time to fake an injury. And you know what? With all the noise, if there was a way for them to try and get unique in any sort of direction, we're going to smell the bullshit. Some of these other markets, this might fly. Not Philadelphia, right? Philadelphia, New York, Boston. You're not sly. You're not cute. You're not creative. You're not telling anybody something that we can't sniff the bullshit. We smell it, dude. We smell it. So good luck. This isn't Sacramento. Golden State's already getting fined for communicating with Ben. Classic. It's crazy. It's absurd. It's ruining the Eagles season, unfortunately. Right? The Eagles season, couple games in. It's Dallas week. Yet, we're losing our cool with Ben Simmons. But the whole Doc thing, it's not surprising that he came out and spoke publicly. He's hitting ESPN. He's hitting all these media outlets. They're declining specific media outlets for a reason because, well, there would be harder pressed questions. They were giving him basically the free pass. Doc, say what you want. We'll give you your layups. Stephen A., they speak. They probably understand where each other's at. So it's like, yo, Doc, I'm going to hit you with what we've kind of already talked about before. Okay, here we go. Bang. I'm talking about even if it's before off the scenes or off the air. More just two fellas hanging out talking sports. There was an agenda today. This was the Sixers, Daryl Morey, the organization, voicing their opinion as well. And, keep in mind, the 76ers are going to want to make it look like they want to keep Ben Simmons. And I'm not speaking for just leverage purposes when there's eventually a trade where he gets his ass out of town. But I'm talking about fining him. Like, there needs to be an identity here with the Sixers. Yeah, we want Ben back. Yeah, absolutely. Make it look all positive from your way. If we start talking about fining, suspending, if that's the method Daryl Morey and the Sixers want to go down, well, when your message to the public is, yeah, we want Ben back. This is all on Ben. We're going to keep fining him. We want him here. We're going to not pay him. We want him here. In case they try and get crafty. Maneuver through some things. Oh, man. Defend Trae. Did you see him defend Trae Young? Yeah, Doc, we watched him also stand underneath the basket and do nothing. We watched him in the first series in Game 1 against the Washington Wizards run away. This narrative that all that needs to change is free throws, it's silly. It really is. It's goofy. It's not true. It's not true. Oh, yeah, but there's a domino effect, Brodes. Free throws get better. More willing to go downhill because he's not afraid. Yeah, but it still screws up this entire spacing. Stop acting as if it doesn't. That's what eats me alive, Doc. And it's the extreme of it, It's the extreme. We're talking about a professional athlete, but somehow we're tiptoeing through all the garbage. We can't have a legitimate professional conversation to the media and to the public about who you are as a player. Why? Why? This actually makes me appreciate Nick Sirianni. When things go wrong, yep, it was my fault. Well, what happened here, Nick? Well, this is what we wanted to do. This is what happened. And there's some information. Now, he's not going to tell you everything, and Nick actually states that. Look, I don't want to go too deep into it or give you too much, but, and then explains as much as he possibly can to the media, to the public. This is professional sports. And look at the way our coach has to handle this. Look at the way Rich Paul has to handle this. We've seen ugly before. We've seen stars that don't love it. James Harden in Houston was the latest. Anthony Davis. We've seen it. There's a different way, though, that this is being handled with Ben. And it's all about not hurting his feelings. James Harden hurting his feelings? No. He just wanted to go win. Ben doesn't give a damn about winning. He wants to leave a first-place team in the East. And trust me, I don't believe that just because you're a first-place team in the East, you're actually good and you can win a championship. The regular season, I don't value like most value the regular season. So it's nonsense because it doesn't necessarily relate to playoff basketball. But with that said, based off of regular season, you can't do much better than that. Ben's not leaving because he wants to win a championship. He has a great chance to win a championship. He's leaving because he's afraid of the fan base now and how much he's been mocked that he can't show his face again, instead of thinking about the alternative, which is I'll show them. I have internal fire. I want to be the best athlete I can be. I'm Ben fucking Simmons. No, it's totally the opposite. And it's killer. Now, throughout all that, I was making a point. I don't know what point that was, and that's why I'm upset with myself. But here's something that was thrown around too. Ben Simmons for Kyrie Irving. KD said, hell no. How much of this is KD and Kyrie are boys and they just want to play together? Or how much of that is KD realizing, I don't want to look at Ben Simmons ever on my team. He cannot shoot a basketball. While Kyrie has once hit daggers in the NBA Finals and has come up with one of the most crucial shots in NBA Finals history. I don't know which one it is. Maybe it's a combination of both. Now, take away KD's thought process, and if you ask me, Brodes, would you do it? Here's what I'd say. Yes, but I bet your ass that we're talking about Kyrie Irving being a disaster in some time as well. His approach to the game is odd. His mentality is odd. He's kind of bizarre. He's a weird dude. But that's clearly the best individual talent that you can get back in return. I kind of was going back and forth in my head. If you told me you can get Kyrie's talent level, but you're also getting his approach, or you get CJ McCollum, Rocco, Robert Covington, and some picks, but you at least have players that you don't really, you're not going to question CJ McCollum like you would Kyrie Irving. We have already experienced a Robert Covington. He probably would enjoy the living hell out of returning to South Philadelphia and being that piece. And think about a starting rotation of Tyrese Maxey with CJ McCollum, Robert Covington, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid, with Seth Curry and Danny Green coming off of your bench. That's nice. Now you still need, well, you have Shake Milton. I'm thinking about someone to put the rock in their hands, but that wouldn't be bad, and you at least know you have bought-in players, where with Kyrie, you wouldn't really know if he's bought in or not. I guess the gamble is if he is, or if you can at least get him, maybe not all the way bought in, but enough where he's competing every night and he looks at Joel Embiid as an opportunity to win a championship with those two playing a two-man game. That would be sensational. Just because of what the ceiling could be gamble-wise. You have a cap with CJ and Rocco. With Kyrie, the cap could be back into actually competing again. Would you take that chance? Yeah, I probably would. Today was a mess. Minnesota with the Timberwolves, they're just getting rid of people. What are we doing here? Karl Anthony Towns has no idea what's happening. He has to bring it to Twitter. Here's what we do know, though. Elton Brand's name is being flirted around with Minnesota now. The problem is there was a correlation and a connection with Daryl Morey to Minnesota prior to this happening. Did they lose leverage there? Or here's another way to look at it. Their previous regime did not want to trade Edwards. Whoever comes in next, do they want to make a splash? Do they want to make a big, loud noise? Ben Simmons. But how does Ben Simmons get perceived by the rest of the town? It doesn't have to be necessarily Minnesota, just in general. If the Sixers were to require Ben Simmons after what Ben Simmons just went through, there'd be a lot of question marks. You have to be right about Ben if you're trading for him, unless it's a package where it's worth the risk, which is the whole pennies on the dollar theory that we've been discussing for quite some time now. And that's why some want Ben Simmons to rot, because they won't give that up. But, what is Ben Simmons perceived on the other side? And yes, I think at the end of the day, compensation matters. If you pass up on players that are okay, but if you can untap Ben Simmons, the ceiling is so high it's worth the chance, compared to giving up young players that are studs, and, well, you're gambling then. It puts more pressure on the hit needing to be landed. So it's a weird dynamic for sure. That's basically where we're at. We have Anytime Hotline calls reacting still to the mayhem. Before we get to that, it's been a great start to the NFL season, and it's only getting better at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. DraftKings is kicking off another week of action by giving all new customers a can't-miss offer. Bet just $1 in any football game this week and receive $150 in free bets instantly, no matter what. And this football season, all customers can swing big with DraftKings same game parlays. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code Brodes to receive $150 in free bets instantly when you place a bet of $1 or more on any football game. That's promo code Brodes to get $150 in free bets instantly. This week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older, Pennsylvania only, new customers only. Restrictions apply. In partnership with Meadows Racetrack and Casino. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, we're going to go to the Anytime Hotline. It's so annoying, though, it really is, that this is what I have to waste my energy on today. I wasn't even going to do it, honestly. I really wasn't. I thought, you know what? I don't want to. I don't want to talk about it. I'm not just doing it to do it. But, the more and more I listen, because I had to re-listen. All right, what exactly is happening here? I dissected it heavily. It's too massive to not at the same time, and that's where I'm torn, It's so devastating. It really is. Let's hear from you. The Anytime Hotline is brought to you by Orbit Energy and Power. They are home to your solar experts in both residential and commercial projects. At Orbit, they're dedicated to making sure your project is completed easily and properly by using high-quality materials and trained professionals to get the job done right. They even take care of all the permitting and fees right there in the office, saving you the hassle of extra paperwork. Orbit Energy and Power provides water purification systems, solar energy, backup energy services, battery storage, electrical upgrades, new roofs, heating and cooling, and so much more. Check out their information. It's all down below. Okay, here we go. Let's hear from you.
What's going on, Brodes? Long-time listener, first-time caller from Chicago. For those people that are saying that you could just hold on to Ben Simmons because he still has 4 years left on his contract, I don't think that's at all feasible. If you want to go back to Jahlil Okafor a few years back, where we had that whole free job movement going on Twitter sphere or whatever it was, and then we ended up giving him up for pennies on dollars, yeah, that's probably what's going to happen with Ben Simmons. I don't see us holding on to him for the season. We're probably going to get some stupid trade like John Wall, which I hope not. Thanks.
Yeah, see, the difference now, though, is you're playing with a Daryl Morey. He's the one running your operations and making the moves. This is an individual that has worked around Chris Paul, worked around Dwight Howard, James Harden, and I'm talking about Dwight Howard with the Rockets attempt. He's moved big names. Russell Westbrook. He's got a stank to him. He's got an edge. Fiery. There's pettiness involved. There's a screw you attitude involved. See, now you're dealing with an experienced veteran who's done it before. Now, ultimately, you can only control what you can control. It matters on timing of the trade. Timing is so crucial with dealing with a lot of these superstars. That's what I'm saying about controlling the controllable. But you also do have him under control contract-wise for 4 seasons. This is not your standard. This is getting really weird, really bad, really awkward, really in some tough spots. This is getting to the next level. So everything's on the table. It's a lot more than just your standard, hey, I want out of here. Because of, one, we're not dumb, and we know why everything played out the way that it did. The intensity of the message by Ben Simmons is what's taking this and kicking it into the next gear. We're not dumb. We are very intelligent when we recognize the issue. We've been screaming about it for years, and the same thing keeps happening. But Ben's trying to blame everybody else. And when you blame everybody else instead of taking accountability, especially when you just got your last coach fired, your previous coach fired, because there wasn't enough discipline and wasn't enough accountability. How ironic is that? My point being, though, after that call with pennies on the dollar, maybe not pennies on the dollar, maybe quarters to the dollar, maybe. But we also are downplaying what getting a real point guard is like, or what running an offense is like 5-on-5 consistently outside of regular season basketball. If you keep applying this theory to regular season basketball, it's going to put you in some trouble. Ben Simmons works in the regular season. That's not the issue. So replacing him with a point guard who might not be as individually skilled as Ben Simmons for regular season basketball purposes, so instead of 55 wins, you win 51 or 49 or 48 or 52, whatever. You lose some regular season wins, you gain some offense in the postseason. You gain legitimacy to a half-court set. So off the bounce, there's creation. How about that for a wild theory? What's next?
Brodes, look, I know the Ben Simmons news that Woj dropped today isn't quote-unquote new, but it's still very, very frustrating to hear. In fact, we all should be infuriated that a player that was set to make $30 million just says, fuck it, I quit. Because he doesn't want to take criticism, he doesn't want to improve his game, and he would rather date celebrities than do what I just previously said. Ben Simmons needs to go somewhere where he needs to get a giant reality check, in my opinion. And that, I mean, he needs to go to an organization that's not going to collar him, not going to baby him, and they need to put that dude in his place. And all I'm going to say is that his first game back at the Wells Fargo Center, I don't care how much money I have during that time. I'm willing to pay an arm and a leg to buy tickets just to boo the fuck out of Ben Simmons.
That's amazing. I love that. And I'm sure you and 20,000 others, which is going to make that an epic night at the Wells Fargo Center for sure. Now, in terms of the reality check, here's where I have the issue. It would have happened by now, right? And I know that people go through things in life. Let's not just apply this to sports and basketball and Ben, but in life, sometimes you figure it out at 50, or you figure it out at 28, or you figure it out at 36. Everyone has a different path. There's not one way to do things. There's not one proper way for something to actually snap in your brain. So maybe that reality check happens once he's out of town, when he's in another city with a different uniform on. Who knows? But I guess right now, I'm in the mindset of, if it didn't happen by now basketball-wise, what's going to change, right? Now, his family tells him one thing. You don't need to shoot the basketball. You don't have to shoot the basketball. Doc Rivers tells him, you don't need to shoot the basketball. Brett Brown, you don't have to shoot the basketball. But eventually, it was, please, Ben, please shoot a basketball. One per game. It needs to occur. I bring that up to you because my point I'm trying to make, you would think he's been told forever to shoot. But I just told you, a lot of the people surrounding him have never really told him that. But at the same time, there's no way it's this difficult for him not to understand that. So I'm sure he's been informed enough what shooting the basketball would do for his game. Hell, Kobe Bryant said it. Rest in peace, Kobe. Before Kobe's passing, when he was speaking about Kobe, or when he was speaking about Ben Simmons, it came up. How special Ben could be if. Think about how impactful Kobe Bryant's words are. Every time you hear him speak, you get hypnotized. And that doesn't do it? That doesn't cut it? Then when will he notice? When will the reality check happen? If it doesn't, when you're held accountable by a fan base, how will it in Sacramento? How will it in Cleveland? And quite frankly, we don't give a damn what happens in another city anyway. If it does snap in his brain in another city, do we care? Not really. No, we don't care. So it's bogus regardless, because it's not happening here. There's no reality check. This is the reality check. This is Ben Simmons. Acknowledge it now. Recognize it, because it's real. This is Ben Simmons.
Hey, bros, this is the 8 Ball. Just wanted to call in about Ben Simmons and my thoughts on it. I honestly just can't wait for him to leave to another team. I think his drama really is going to hurt this team if he stays here, depending on when he leaves or how long he stays here. So I honestly don't expect the Sixers to make the playoffs just because of the drama. You saw how it was with T.O. and the Eagles back in, 2006. So as far as this, I just don't think the Sixers are going to make the playoffs. Plus, I just think that they have to add more pieces to the team.
Oh, they definitely have to add more pieces to the team, right? We understand that. This is the NBA, though. The NFL and the NBA, in terms of making the postseason, is extremely different, where you see 500 teams making it as the 8th seed. Joel Embiid's an MVP. Joel Embiid ended the team over a length of time without even getting something in return for Ben, which is impossible because you will. Tyrese Maxey, Seth Curry, Danny Green, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid as a starting 5. And yeah, Shake Milton, bench pieces need to be figured out. I understand, right? You're clearly going to receive a compensation for Ben Simmons, so there'll be more names involved and something in return. Regardless, Joel Embiid, Maxey, Green, Seth Curry, that's a playoff team in the Eastern Conference. Not a championship team by any means, no. Playoff team, though? Do you know how bad you have to be to not make a playoff at all? You have a potential MVP of the league. That gets you in the playoffs in the NBA. Come on now. So, you wouldn't think NBA championship by any means. Ben Simmons won't be around. Now, the drama will be there media-wise, but it's not as if Ben's even close to the situation. So maybe this could be a positive for roster chemistry, team chemistry. You become one. You become a family. You fight the adversity. You hear the noise. Shut up about the noise. Let's go play basketball together. Could be a bonding experience, a weird way for them to come together. Now, it's not what you want to see, to be fair here. This isn't something you want. Based off of circumstances, though, can it work in a positive way? All right, we'll take one more.
Ben fucking Simmons, fuck you, you fucking loser. This is the guy who slides into Kendall Jenner's fucking DMs and gets fucking dumped in under a fucking year, okay? He doesn't want to take advice from Kobe Bryant. He gets coddled by the fucking coaches in the fucking front office. And now he requests a trade because the fans don't like him and they boo him. Fuck you, Ben Simmons. You're a fucking pussy. And you're the exact opposite of what the city is built of.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't even have much to say on it. I really don't. I don't have much to say on that one. That's pure emotion flying around after the news breaks. I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way. I'll just leave it at that. Before we head out of here, do you want to take advantage of your sports book? You need to download BetQL, the only app you'll need to make smart bets. Their model covers everything from spreads, over-unders, and player props. Sharp data so you can see who the pros are backing. Line movements so you can jump on betting opportunities in real time. Team lineup breaking news and injury status updates. Head to the App Store or Google Play Store right now to download BetQL. Enter the discount code Brodes at payment checkout for $25 off any of their subscription offerings. You can find all this information in the description below. Thank you all so much for hanging out, and I will see you next time.